Okay, start with Simon. Hi, Michael. I know you experienced a difficult day as a player in that defeat to Burnham in 2009. From the dugout, was that worse feeling today, losing like that to New Orleans?
I wouldn't say it's worse. I think it's a game that we've lost, right? So it's hugely disappointing. Of course, it is. You know, we came here to win, like we do any game. So to not take anything away is hugely disappointing. Yeah, it's not more than that. It's not less than that. It's a one game that we're disappointed we haven't won. So got to soak it up and come back stronger.
The whole manager said that they had a training ground routine they worked on Friday for set pieces that worked with the goals. I mean, was there anything that jumped out to you that you thought that was particularly troubling, particular issue?
No, it's two completely different goals, really. So it's not time to dissect it as such. I think we've been pretty good over a period of time. Today they've obviously scored two in different ways, you know. So I guess why that's highlighted, I understand that, but it happens. Sometimes it happens in football, but we don't accept it. But it happens, and we got to understand why.
Well, Michael, I know there's a lot of noise around United, and it's easy to get carried away. But
always is, yeah.
Yeah, like, how do you sum that up? Because I think your team were more passive than people expected, and I know you said this was going to be a tough challenge, but I don't think anybody expected the whole win.
No, but that doesn't mean you're passive just because you get beat. It's just, you know, the result's the result. So we accept it. You know, we got beat, we're hurt, and it's not a nice feeling at all. It doesn't mean it's going to change the whole direction of how we're going as a team or as a football club. You know, it's one game, and results can happen in football. We all understand that. It's not nice when they do, but it does happen. We can be better. We will be better. There's things we can be much better at. There's things that were actually all right that get lost in the game because you get beat. But I understand that as well.
Michael, most people have said that your calmness, winning and losing, is one of the key attributes for you dealing with this job. But do you also understand that games like that generates a huge amount of debate and negativity, and people expect a kind of reaction from you, even though that's not your kind of general demeanour or approach?
I know there's a lot goes on outside of our football club, yeah. I understand the responsibility I've got, but it doesn't make me do things differently just because of that.
Steve?
Hi, Michael. Do you feel like your system's having some issues against teams who play for back five? And thinking back to the Leeds game in April, 2-1 at Old Trafford, obviously AC Milan last weekend. Is it a coincidence, obviously, Hull today, or do you think there's something potentially there?
We haven't lost many games 6-7 months, so again, I get it. We've lost today, and I understand it. And there's questions to be asked, but it doesn't mean everything's wrong because we've lost the game. We've done a lot of good things, and we did some good things today, but it gets lost, and I understand it'll get lost, but it doesn't get lost from our point of view. So yeah, there's definitely issues playing against different systems, you know. So we got to find the answers for that. But it's just because we lose one game doesn't mean that everything needs dissected and it's wrong from our point of view. I understand from others it happens, and that's how it is.
Michael, could you just maybe explain Patrick Dorgu's kind of position when going forward? Obviously, he's taking a few central positions, having to substitute him at half time. Do you think you might need to put an arm around him this week? You know, purely.
Pat's fine. Pat's fine. We love him to bits. So it was. He's a fantastic player. Pat. He's a great character. He's a big part of what we do, and he will be. So it was just one of those decisions. It's nothing personal. Sometimes you just got to make them, you know, and try to do something a little bit different.
Rob?
Do you find it easy in these situations to remain quite calm? Obviously, it's part of your personality, but you've mentioned the noise and what people will say after this. But do you find it quite easy just to kind of, I suppose, put your foot on the ball a little bit and just say, look, we don't need to rip everything one game and move on?
There's a difference how you say calmness, you know. I'm talking to you quite calm, but I'm not exactly kind of calm inside and enjoying the day, you know. So it's there's a big difference, and I played here for a long time. You don't get to play here for a long time without just going day by day. The result, there's ups and downs, but you just carry on as normal. It's 100% not that, and trust me, it's not that. It just doesn't mean that we always have to shout and scream and come out and create some chaos just because of it. You know, inside we're hurting. the boys know, and we need to get better. But the calmness doesn't mean that there's no emotion in it, for sure.
Christian, and last one for Laurie.
And Michael, you played 6 games in pre-season. There were a lot of good points in what you saw. How big a shock today was it for you, that defeat and the manner of it?
Yeah, we got beat by 2 set plays, so the goals are the goals, and pre-season's pre-season as well. You know, whatever way it goes and whatever happens, the season's the season in itself. Right? Not sure I can remember too many pre-seasons whether we've had success or not. So it puts you to a starting point to then make the next step. We've lost a game. We have lost 1 game, and it's not a nice one to lose, first game of the season. But it won't change what we do and knock us moving forward.
Was there anything that you saw in pre-season that might prepare you today in terms of...
Say again, sorry.
Was there anything that you saw in pre-season that might prepare you for what happened today in terms of like warning signs and stuff like that?
Nah, there's always things that happen on all the time. Things that we see that we like. Sometimes we see the little habits or patterns that we want to improve on. That's fine. But just because we lost the game today, we don't have to dissect the whole picture, because it's definitely not bad.
Not going to dissect this, but I think you had 49 goals, league goals on the pitch at the end with Rashford, Fernandes, Mbeumo, Cunha, Sesko all on the pitch. Can you put your finger on why that didn't necessarily click into then putting more pressure on the whole goal?
Yeah, listen, we changed things around a little bit second half, and we kept trying to find a different way, a little bit finding a spark. It happens, it does happen, it has happened before. We just got to keep finding them solutions, you know, and a little bit of Ben's been out for quite some time and hasn't trained an awful lot, so there's kind of little bits of reasons, you know, for it. So Brian's been really good for a lot of pre-season, and was one of our better players again today. All right, guys, thanks a lot.
Thought the man, sorry.